HD. ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight. This portion of the news brought to you by BTC Every Day.
A world leader in cable TV could soon take over cable and wireless. Good evening, everyone. I'm Charisma Robinson. Liberty Global, the world's largest international cable company, has agreed to buy Cable and Wireless, the parent company of BTC, for billions of dollars. The announcement made yesterday, and now the question is, what does this mean for the company and the industry? Clint Watson has more.
The Board of Cable and Wireless concluded that it's in the long-term best interest of the company, its shareholders, employees, and customers to sell the business for an overall price of approximately $8.2 billion. Liberty Global is the world's largest international cable television company with nearly 27 million subscribers, receiving over 57 million distinct services that generate approximately $18 billion of annual revenues. Chief Executive of Cable and Wireless, Phil Bentley, said Liberty Global offers scale and world-class capabilities and will be an outstanding custodian of their business, both for their people and their customers. State Minister of Investments, the Honorable Kalish Roll, says the new company still has to go through the investment approval process from the Bahamas Investment Authority.
Nothing is automatic. We don't anticipate any major hurdles, but the reality is it's a new investor, and any new investor coming into the Bahamas, whether it's part of a global acquisition initiative or an individual local purchase, they still have to face the scrutiny of the National Economic Council.
As to whether this now leaves a possibility for government to buy back full ownership of the company, Minister Roll says he couldn't say that was on the table.
There's an agreement in place. We will look at the agreement, but there's I don't know that is one of the options available. That's a discussion to have. When individuals buy companies, they buy them with the understanding that all agreements that they currently have in place will remain in place.
President of the BCPOU, Bernard Evans, says he's not surprised. In his view, Cable and Wireless was only window dressing and would eventually pull out. However, he feels the government should explore buying back BTC now that the game, in his view, has changed.
And in the heads of agreement, there is a provision. Provides you that if, in fact, they want to relinquish all of their shares, the government do have first right of refusal. If they want to take back, and I believe they ought to look at that option, whether or not they can afford it or not. I think they ought to look at that option. Because certainly you can't continue this revolving door of who their partner would be. And try to stabilize the mind and to keep intact the middle class. As we continue to go through this exercise, you would see that the middle class will continue to shrink and shrink.
Evans says the new climate with foreign companies is continuous streamlining, so he suggests a buyback as a means of stopping the uncertainty with transitioning foreign private companies and as a measure to stop the revolving door with further job losses. Clint Watson, ZNS Network News.
Thanks so much, Clint. Tragedy in Nassau Village today as a young man is gunned down. Cleopatra Murphy has the details of the slaying in broad daylight.
Armed police officers formed a roadblock in Nassau Village as they conducted investigations into a shooting that claimed the life of 22-year-old Ricky Charlton. Onlookers gathered in the streets while bloodstains and bullet holes marred the wall of a home adjacent to a vacant lot where the body of the father of a 2-year-old son fell. Officer in charge of Police Homicide Unit Superintendent Bernard Bonamy Jr. says police were alerted to another incident first.
Shortly around 11 a.m. this morning, we received reports of gunshot being heard in the Willow Tree Primary Garden area. Officers responded and discovered that the house was shot at. Shortly afterwards, we received another report of a male being shot here at Butler Street, Nassau Village. Again, officers responded and discovered the lifeless body of a male.
Bonamy says the victim was shot multiple times about the body, evidenced by the yellow bullet markers visible on the ground, counting up to 24. as Charlton's body was loaded onto a stretcher and into a mortuary services vehicle. The mother of Charlton's son cried, and the screams of neighbors could be heard. Resident Bonita Lindo says she got a close view of the victim she knew as Rev.
I just walked down there and I saw the gentleman, and I know he's a close friend of ours. I saw him on the ground. He had the bus wide open. One gentleman tried to take a shake to throw over him because the people was trying to take pictures of him.
She and other residents say they live in constant fear, and police are slow to respond, only reacting when tragedy occurs. Lindo says the senseless killing must stop.
All this killing and thing going on, it ain't make no sense. We soon ain't gonna have no man. Why you think the woman them going with woman? Ain't gonna be no man run for woman when they killing out one another.
Bonamy says police are working with limited information, but believe 2 men were involved.
The only information we have this far is that a grey Jeep pulled up as he was walking and opened fire on him. We want to appeal to members of the public who live in the area or might have heard or seen anything to please contact us that could assist us in this investigation.
Following the murder, a heavy presence of armed officers could be seen combing the community. This incident pushed the murder count to 134. Cleopatra Murphy, ZNS Network News.
Thanks, Cleo. While the crime issue appears to be spiraling out of control, the police chief says despite their hardest efforts, prolific offenders end up back on the street. Following a recent meeting with the country's leader, the commissioner suggested that some legislative changes may soon be on the books to put an end to this frustrating problem. He told reporters today that it is a problem that the police cannot address alone. Here's Janae Noel Ferguson.
Just minutes after the 134th murder was recorded, Police Commissioner Ellison Greenslade dispatched more than a dozen heavily armed officers to the street to conduct a number of operations. And while some suggest that this move might be reactive to the crime problem, the nation's top cop assured that it is a common practice, but a major hurdle in the crime fight, he says, continues to prevail.
Those murder figures are up, and they're up to the point that we're very, very disturbed, very, very concerned. I'll tell you, I'm not surprised. Despite our best intentions. I foreshadowed this many months ago when I gave you an interview and I said, if we do not change our trajectory, not the police department, but if we didn't change generally as a country, look at some policy issues, some legislative reforms issues, and some other initiatives, we were going to continue to have problems.
A visibly upset police commissioner also addressed concerns over gang activity. This past weekend, an alleged hit list by an organization was posted on social media with apparent targets. The commissioner said he won't give them any credence.
The only gang that I know about in the Bahamas that deserves any recognition are the gangs that work for the Royal Bahamas Police Force, the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, Her Majesty's Prisons, the Customs Services. The law does not allow anyone else with any other description to do anything that looks like law enforcement in this country, to possess guns, to traffic dope, to cause mayhem, and to hurt people. Whatever weapons are on the streets of New Providence or anywhere in the Bahamas, this morning we have outmatched them.
Now, Greenslade says it's not the first time he's said it, but those prolific offenders released on bail continue to wreak havoc in the community.
I cannot make a bad person who's committed murder, is intent on doing it again, I cannot make him or her change. What I can do is do exactly what I've done again this morning, not the first time. Arrest them and take them before the halls of justice. And I'm asking that when we do it, they are not allowed to return to our communities to continue to kill people.
The commissioner said he's given a number of recommendations to the Prime Minister, which he hopes will be made into policy. But he says the crime fight is not only a police problem.
I'm asking the public to please give us your support. Stop cloaking men with guns, women with guns, men with drugs, women with drugs. People that are committing nefarious criminal acts in this country should find no shelter in our communities among decent citizens and residents of this country.
Janae Noel Ferguson, ZNS Network News.
Take a look at your screen. Authorities are searching for this man believed to be responsible for a number of home invasions in eastern New Providence today. Police say security cameras captured this image of the man they want to question. If you can assist the police in finding this culprit, please call 919 or 328-TIPS.
This portion of the news is brought to you by the new Shell and Lettuce, designed for extra miles.